Hey, welcome in and welcome back, everybody. It is Laura here. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. But today we are going to dig into the astrology of October because we've got some pretty significant energies at play this month, and they are definitely emotionally charged and connected to the Twin Flame Collective. So tomorrow on Wednesday, we do have Mercury in a square to Jupiter at 22 degrees. And so Mercury's been in Libra for a little while, and Mercury in Libra in a square to Jupiter in Cancer. And so I do feel this is going to really expand communication issues within relationships, especially on the home front. And so keep that in mind because this is the pivotal turning point, I feel, because we are still in that clearing energy of the eclipse portal gateway. And so I don't know how the rest of you have been feeling since that Virgo new moon eclipse, but I know the energy has been thick, and it's just been this energy of needing to ride it out. And so I've been a little bit quiet on the channel for about the last week. I really wanted to jump on and start recording zodiac messages again, but everything in my entire being said, hold up, wait a minute. It's really time to integrate the clearing of these eclipses. And so there's this very tense energy at play tomorrow with Mercury in that square to Jupiter. But what they're showing me is the energy of the Fool, almost with like an Eight of Wands in reversed. And so this could mean the blocked messages coming through. I do feel there's just going to be these challenges connected to issues at home, connected to imbalances on the home front. And so the main energies for October, I do want to talk about the full moon in Aries, because that to me says we're out of the woods once we get to that full moon in Aries. And it's not going to be a cakewalk, because this is going to be a very intense, emotional, releasing portal. And so you're going to want to pay close attention to the house that this full moon is going to be in. And so for me, this full moon in Aries is taking place in my first house. I do plan on launching the membership program on Monday the 6th. I'm going to have that all ready to go, launched on the webpage for the full moon in Aries. This full moon is at 14 degrees. So it is a karmic number. It is at a karmic degree, but it's also connected to the energy of temperance. On the same day as the full moon, Mercury is entering into Scorpio. And so this is like a detective energy. And so there is a major activation theme connected to the full moon in Aries of self versus connection with others, right? Because the opposite of Aries is Libra. And so this really is, I feel, an ignition point for the divine masculine collective to take action. That's really what came through when I channeled this. And for the feminine, I feel this is a portal of reclaiming your authenticity. And so you might feel a surge of empowerment the day of the full moon, a surge of reclaiming your independence on the day of the full moon. But basically, there's going to be an illumination, I feel, connected to these old patterns, connected to people pleasing, right? Which is the opposite of Aries. It's that Libra energy. And codependencies that are going to be surfacing, that are going to need to be cleared, so we can be prepared for that new moon in Libra in 2 weeks' time after that full moon. And so with Mercury also entering into Scorpio, the same day as the full moon, anything that was hidden in the dark is going to come to light. So deep truths, anything hidden. And I feel communication is just going to be really raw and really revealing on that full moon day. So secrets, all of these hidden motivations, anything when it comes to like unspoken words, unspoken emotions, this is going to be surfacing. And it very well could be surfacing between the counterparts. If not between the counterparts, this could be happening within the karmic relationship cycles, because we are closing out a 9-year numerologically speaking, right? We went through that 999 portal. We're in preparation for a 1 year, the 111 portal in January. And so anybody still clinging to these old relationship and karmic cycles, it's going to keep getting more challenging. And I did notice 444 on the timer. And so I do feel if you're not in communication with your counterpart, Mercury entering into Scorpio is going to like reignite the telepathic surges between the counterparts, especially in dream space. So really pay attention to the connections coming through in your dreams around the time of the full moon. And as Mercury transits through Scorpio, that's going to really be important. But there's going to be, I feel, a lot of intuitive downloads, especially if you have Scorpio in a prominent house in your birth chart, like the 3rd house, the 1st house, the 12th house, or even possibly the 9th house. But I feel for the Twin Flame Collective, this is like a massive emotional confrontation. Wherever you've avoided stepping into authenticity, or a truth that you've avoided maybe revealing, this is where we have the ability, I feel, to reclaim back our power on this journey. October the 13th, we are going to have Venus entering into Libra. And so this is Venus in its home sign. Venus is really comfortable in Taurus and in Libra. And although I feel this is going to be really good, there's going to be some intense transits connected to Venus in its home sign, because Venus is going to trine Uranus, which is retrograde. That's bringing forward a major Queen of Swords energy for the divine feminine. It's going to be trine Pluto. This is where we have to walk through the portal of completing this karmic lesson, because the world energy was very prominent. And what else? We're going to have Mercury as well in a conjunction to Lilith this month, which is really going to unearth, I feel, that raw feminine power. But I feel with Venus entering into Libra, this is opening up the doorway for the feminine to open up her heart to forgiveness once and for all, because we have to get to that place on the journey where we have that mutual understanding. And this really is where I think both of the counterparts are going to be pulled towards having that reconnection or that reconciliation. But we have to each achieve balance in our own lives first, right? And we have to have mutual respect for one another to have that open-hearted conversation. And so there's a lot of heart healing with Venus transiting through the sign of Libra. And this is asking us to achieve that divine harmony on the journey, right? Because we have potential here for relationship rebirth, but we both have to be open to the reconnection, okay? October 14th, I know I'm excited about this one. Pluto is finally going to be stationing direct in Aquarius. And so this has been a major, major transformation point for me, with Pluto now sitting in my 12th house and retrograde in the 12th house. And so it's been a deep dive into a lot of spirituality for me, my spiritual practices, reinventing my spiritual practices daily, and really unearthing that karmic energy for me. And so with Pluto going direct, this really is pushing towards another layer, I feel, of awakening, especially for the divine masculine and liberation, right? Because when Pluto went retrograde, it was asking us to break down all of the old ego structures connected to power and control. And this was asking us to break apart all of the karmic restraints that held us back from really going towards our full-fledged mission. And so with Pluto going direct, this can bring forward massive realizations, especially I feel like freedom, liberation and freedom, because Aquarius is connected to Uranus, which is all about shaking things up too. And so truth about our soul purpose and what's held us back from going towards our soul purpose. And for many of the twins, this is really going to mark a massive shift from this inner transformation that we've been doing, right? And we can then implement this outer change in our external reality. So if you've been feeling blocked with taking those action steps towards your mission and your destiny, you're not alone. Because for me, it's like 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. And that's really how it's been for a majority of this year, because it is a 9-year of completion. And if you think of the number 9 and its connection to the major arcana, it is connected to the Hermit. And so we've been in a year of deep soul searching and reevaluating who we are, reinventing who we are, going through a period of understanding our collective mission activation and awakening and accelerating and ascension. And so I feel that's all going to be moving forward now that Pluto is going direct, but we will still have to deal with the post-shadow retrograde energies. October 20th, we're going to have Mercury in a conjunction to Mars, and this is at 19 degrees. And I do feel this was important to talk about because it's at 19 degrees 11, and so there's going to be intense communication. Scorpio is intense. There's no way around it. This is where passion and truth kind of collide, is how I'm seeing this play out. This is the transit for that deep, deep emotional honesty and those deep emotional conversations and maybe even confrontations. But I feel if you are in separation in your connection, there could be massive telepathic exchanges around that time on the 20th. Or if you are in union or you are in contact, I feel this is going to bring like a breakthrough conversation about all of the past pain and the future direction that you're going to be taking in your twin flame union. And so our words are going to be catalysts on that day. And it can reconnect the passion of this connection, or it can bring truth so massive that it creates conflict. So just be aware of that. We are finally going to have Neptune retrograde re-entering back into Pisces. It's going to join Saturn that's re-entered into Pisces. And we're also going to have the sun entering into Scorpio on the same day. So this is pretty significant. This is going to be a very spiritually charged energy for the twins on that day. With Neptune back in Pisces, it's going to heighten the intuition. It's going to heighten our dreams. I know dreams have been super vivid, even with Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and with Neptune joining it. This is like empathy overload is how I'm looking at that. And the soul bond between the twins is going to strengthen physically as we dissolve all of these physical boundaries that have kind of kept us apart, is how I kind of see that playing out. And so we are entering, though, a shadow season in the collective with the sun entering into Scorpio. And so illusions are really going to start to fade. And divine truth is going to prevail, is really what they want me to tell you. And so this psychic connection is going to go through an emotional rebirth, and the truth will prevail over any illusions around the 22nd. Then we have this beautiful Grand Water Trine at play from the 24th to the 31st between Mercury and Scorpio, Jupiter and Cancer, and Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So we're in this healing wave of energies, like a cosmic wave of healing. You think of Grand Water Trines, you're going to have to go with the flow. It's going to bring a lot of emotional flow to the surface. There's going to be a deeper divine understanding of this connection, so we can ground in deeper compassion connected to Christ consciousness and our mission. Jupiter is going to expand. It's going to expand the emotional wisdom we're here to ground in. Saturn is going to ground. It's going to ground in our spiritual lessons, right? Because Saturn asks us to have the knowledge of the lessons. And Neptune is going to soften our hearts. And so Mercury is going to bring forward the sacred communication. It's going to be the bridging of energies where the twins bridge the two souls together. And this is going to be a major breakthrough connected to the inner child healing. We do still have Chiron in Aries in its retrograde motion, which is asking us to forgive and to open up our heart with these activations taking place. And so we're really in this portal, I want to say, of emotional harmony. And then we're going to close off the month with Mercury entering into Sagittarius. And right before Mercury enters into Sagittarius, it's going to be trine Neptune at 29 degrees 50. We have an opportunity to take those steps to go towards that 10 of Cups union with the counterpart. And Mercury in Sagittarius is going to bring forward states of transcendence. Mercury is going to enter into Sagittarius on the 29th, and it's going to almost immediately oppose Uranus retrograde in Gemini at 0 degrees 21. This is it. This is the reset point for the twins in October, and we're just days away from Halloween with that transit. And the veil is going to be very thin with our connection to spirituality, our guides, and the spiritual realm. And so I feel closing out October, things are going to get very emotional. It's going to be very watery. And so we're going to have to really work on grounding in these energies as best as we can, because I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it on the other side. So that's what I do have for the month of October. I'm super excited to launch the membership. So we're going to start off with the basics of astrology. I know I have had several of you join my astrology mentorship one-on-one. This is going to be a more affordable way to have astrology mentorship with me through the membership. It's going to be held on Wednesdays every single week at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in a Google Meeting setting. And each membership session is going to be recorded for you to be able to go back and view. You'll have lifetime access to viewing these sessions. So we're going to start with the basics. We're going to work our way up. And this is going to allow all of you an opportunity to have that mentorship with me through a membership, through a group setting where we can interact with one another, where we can learn and grow together how to work with these energies, how to apply it in our day-to-day life. If you are interested in learning astrology through me at a more affordable price, then don't forget to check out the membership. I'm super excited to launch that. So that's what we got coming in for October. Keep an eye out tomorrow morning for the detailed breakdown of Mercury square Jupiter. We're going to dig into that energy tomorrow. We're going to go further in with some cards. If you would like to go further with me with a personal reading, then check out the link below to my webpage. I would love to get that booked in for you. Have a great month ahead, everybody, and I will see you all again tomorrow morning.